After over 10 years of working with families preparing for retirement, I've had hundreds of conversations about what people wish they'd done differently. And here's what I've noticed. The same three regrets keep coming up over and over again. These mistakes don't just cost people money, they cost them years of peace of mind, flexibility, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in missed opportunities. Today, I'm going to share exactly what these regrets are, and more importantly, what you can do right now to avoid them, no matter where you are in your retirement journey. Because the truth is, it's not about having a perfect plan, it's about having the right plan for you at the right time. Let's start with the first and probably most damaging regret I see. People wait until they're within a year or two of retirement to actually figure out what they're going to spend. And by then, it's often too late to make meaningful adjustments. Here's what happens. Throughout your working years, you're focused on saving. You hear the generic advice, save 10 to 15% of your income. Aim for $1 million. Follow the 4% rule. But nobody talks about what you actually need to maintain your lifestyle in retirement. And this creates two equally problematic outcomes. The first outcome is oversaving anxiety. I've worked with clients who've had more than enough saved, but were absolutely terrified to retire because they didn't know their numbers. They kept working jobs they hated, sacrificing their health and relationships, all because they were chasing an arbitrary savings target that had nothing to do with their actual expenses. The second outcome is the undersaving crisis. According to recent research from Morningstar, actual retirement replacement rates can range from under 54% to over 87%, depending on household specific factors. The traditional 70 to 80% replacement rate that most people use, it's essentially a guess that rarely matches reality. Here's what makes this regret so painful. Research from the Urban Institute shows that retirees often miscalculate their expenses by significant margins. Pre-retirees frequently underestimate healthcare costs. Fidelity found that 57% of recent retirees underestimated healthcare expenses, with the average retiree now facing upwards of $165,000 in healthcare costs, not even including long-term care. So let me give you a hypothetical scenario to illustrate this. Imagine someone in their early 60s who's been a diligent saver. They've accumulated $1.2 million. Every online calculator tells them they need $1.5 million to retire safely. So they keep working, getting more stressed, and their health's declining. But when we actually sat down and mapped out their essential expenses versus discretionary spending, here's what we discovered. Their must-have expenses, housing, utilities, food, insurance, came to $60,000 per year. Their fun money, travel, hobbies, dining out, was another $30,000. Total actual need was $90,000. With Social Security providing $35,000 annually, they only needed $55,000 from their portfolio. With $1.2 million saved and a tax-efficient withdrawal strategy, they could comfortably support that spending level with room to spare. They didn't need to wait for $1.5 million. They were already ready. The emotional cost of not knowing this sooner, it was 2 extra years of unnecessary stress and delayed dreams. The second biggest regret I see comes down to one word: taxes. Specifically, failing to build tax diversification during your peak earning years. Here's the thing. A lot of people are excellent savers. You contribute to your 401k, you max it out, you watch that balance grow. But all that money is sitting there tax deferred. Every single dollar you pull out in retirement becomes fully taxable as ordinary income. Now let me explain why this becomes a crisis in retirement. For individuals born between 1951 and 1959, required minimum distributions begin at age 73. And here's where the lack of planning really hurts. Let's say you've been a diligent saver and you've accumulated $500,000 in your traditional IRA by age 73. Your first RMD would be roughly $20,242. That amount gets added to your other income and taxed at ordinary rates. But here's the real problem. If you delay your first RMD until April 1st of the following year, which many people do, you'll have 2 RMDs in the same tax year. That can significantly spike your taxable income, potentially pushing you into a higher tax bracket. Could increase your Medicare Part B premiums and cause up to 85% of your Social Security income to become taxable. And it gets worse. If you only have tax-deferred accounts, you have zero flexibility. The IRS is telling you exactly when and how much you have to withdraw. regardless of whether you need the money or what other income looks like that year. Research shows that retirees with tax-deferred accounts only face a greater tax burden and have no control over the timing of their withdrawals. If you miss your RMD, the penalty is 25% of the amount not taken, reduced to 10% if you correct it within 2 years. Now, compare that to someone who built tax diversification in their 40s and 50s. They have money in traditional IRAs, Roth IRAs, and taxable brokerage accounts. In retirement, they can strategically pull from different buckets based on their tax situation each year. If they have a low income year, they might do Roth conversions. If they need extra cash, they can pull from taxable accounts and pay favorable capital gains rates instead of ordinary income rates. This flexibility can save tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars over a 20 to 30 year retirement, but you can't build it overnight. It requires intentional planning during your working years. Before we get to the third regret, I want to pause and talk about the compound effect of these mistakes. Because here's what I've learned after 10 years in this business. Financial mistakes don't exist in isolation. They cascade. When you don't know your spending needs, you can't make informed decisions about tax planning. When you don't have tax diversification, you lose flexibility in retirement. And when you lose flexibility, you're forced into suboptimal decisions that cost you money and peace of mind. According to research from Bankrate, 22% of all respondents named putting off retirement savings as their top financial regret, with 36% of baby boomers and Gen X agreeing. But the deeper issue isn't just delaying savings, it's delaying comprehensive planning. The clients I've worked with who express the most regret aren't the ones who saved less. They're the ones who saved without a strategy. They're the ones who accumulated wealth but didn't integrate it into a broader life and financial plan. And the result? Years of unnecessary anxiety and missed opportunities. This brings me to the third and perhaps most overlooked regret: treating investment management as if it's separate from comprehensive financial planning. Here's what I mean. Most people focus exclusively on their portfolio, asset allocation, diversification, and returns. And don't get me wrong, investing is important, but it's just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Comprehensive financial planning includes cash flow management, retirement income planning, tax optimization, insurance strategy, estate planning, and yes, investment management. When these elements work together, the results are dramatically better than focusing on investments alone. Research consistently shows that individuals and retirees who work with comprehensive financial planners typically get higher returns and more integrated planning, including tax management, retirement planning, and estate planning, compared to those who focus solely on investment management. Let me give you a scenario. Someone comes to me and says, I've been working with an investment advisor for 10 years. My portfolio's done pretty well, but I'm not sure if I can retire. When we dig into their situation, here's what we often find. They have no tax strategy. They don't know how to coordinate their Social Security claiming decision with their portfolio withdrawals. They have inadequate insurance coverage, and their estate plan is outdated or non-existent. Their investments might be performing well, but their overall financial life is fragmented. And when retirement comes, these disconnected pieces can create problems. They might have to sell investments at inopportune times to cover unexpected expenses. They might trigger unnecessary taxes because they didn't plan withdrawals strategically. They might leave money on the table with Social Security. According to research from Affiance Financial, comprehensive financial planning aims to be less influenced by external forces by focusing instead on having a plan for the unexpected. Retirees with holistic planning report higher confidence in meeting long-term needs due to proactive risk management, regular reviews, and integrated solutions. The cost of not integrating these areas, it compounds over 10 to 15 years. Small inefficiencies, paying more in taxes than necessary, missing opportunities for Roth conversions, not optimizing Social Security add up to hundreds of thousands of dollars in lost wealth and flexibility. So what do successful pre-retirees do differently? They treat retirement planning as an integrated system, not a collection of separate tasks. First, they know their numbers. They document their spending, both essential and discretionary, years before retirement. They understand exactly what income they'll need and where it will come from. This clarity eliminates anxiety and allows them to make confident decisions about when to retire. Second, they build tax diversification early. They're contributing to Roth accounts, doing strategic Roth conversions, and maintaining taxable brokerage accounts. They understand that tax flexibility in retirement is worth more than squeezing out an extra percentage point of return today. Third, they view their financial advisor as a comprehensive partner, not just an investment manager. They're working with someone who coordinates all aspects of their financial life: investments, taxes, income planning, insurance, and estate planning. And they're reviewing and adjusting their plan regularly as life and circumstances change. Research from Creative Planning shows that this four-pillar approach to wealth management helps ensure that wealth serves you today while also creating a legacy for your future. Retirees with comprehensive plans show greater financial resilience during market volatility and unexpected events because their plans anticipate the unexpected and create contingency buffers. The result, they retire with confidence, not because they have the most money, but because they have a plan that works for their unique situation. If you're watching this and thinking, I wish I'd started this earlier, here's the good news. It's never too late to course correct. Here are the actionable first steps you can take today, regardless of where you are in your journey. Step 1. Document your current spending. I'm not talking about creating a restrictive budget. Just track your actual expenses for 3 months. Separate them into 2 categories: essential expenses that you can't eliminate and discretionary expenses that give you flexibility. This exercise alone will give you more clarity than any generic retirement calculator. Step 2, evaluate your tax diversification. Look at your retirement accounts. How much do you have in tax deferred accounts like traditional 401ks and IRAs? How much in Roth accounts? How much in taxable brokerage accounts? If everything is in one bucket, you need to start building diversification now. Even small contributions to a Roth IRA or strategic Roth conversions can make a massive difference over time. Step 3, find a comprehensive financial advisor. I want to be specific here. Look for someone who offers comprehensive financial planning, not just investment management. Ask them, do you help with tax planning, income planning, estate planning? The answer is vague or focused only on investments. Keep looking. According to research from Kiplinger, holistic financial planning focuses on the big picture rather than only investing. Retirees who work with comprehensive planners report higher levels of retirement satisfaction and financial well-being, even when controlling for other factors. Step 4, run projections. Use planning software or work with an advisor to model different scenarios. What if you retire at 62 versus 65? What if you take Social Security early versus delaying it? What if you spend more in your early retirement years? Seeing the numbers makes abstract fears concrete and manageable. And finally, step 5, review and adjust regularly. Your plan isn't static. Life changes, goals evolve, tax laws shift. Successful retirees revisit their plan at least annually and make adjustments as needed. The biggest regret isn't making a mistake, it's waiting too long to address them. The best time to start comprehensive retirement planning was probably 10 years ago. Second best time is today. If you're serious about avoiding these regrets and want to see exactly where you stand, I'd encourage you to schedule a call with our team at Trello Wealth. We help families and retirees simplify financial complexity with personalized planning and disciplined investment management, so you can move into retirement with clarity, confidence, and peace of mind. Visit the link in the description to schedule a call today. We'll walk through your situation, identify any gaps, and show you exactly what steps to take next, because you've worked too hard to leave your retirement to chance.